One of the issues of growing up with narcissistic parents is we become normalized to it. We then struggle to see narcissistic behaviours in other people in our adult life. If you think this might be you, stay on till the end of this video where I'm going to tell you what you can do to break free. So let's start with some of the signs of a narcissistic parent. Firstly, they are self-centered and they need to put their own needs first. So despite them being the parent and you being the child, they make it all about them. The second is they are emotionally manipulative. They use tactics like gaslighting, like shaming, blaming, to constantly make you feel like you're the problem, like it's your fault. And then related to this, they struggle with accountability. Even when it's like super clear that they're in the wrong, it's always still someone else's fault. There's always a valid excuse why they can't be held accountable for their behaviors and their actions. The next one is their love is conditional. Even when they do something that's kind, that's loving, that's caring, there's always something that they're expecting or wanting to get back from that. Or if it seems unconditional in the moment, it's then weaponized in the future. This often leads us feeling like in our adult life, we don't want to receive from other people because of the price we expect we're going to pay for it. And then constant criticism. It's like everything that we do is wrong. We're wrong when we step in and we try and help and support them. Then we're wrong when we don't step in and try and support them. It's like whatever we do effectively gives them more ammunition to try to knock us down. Because you see, narcissists take their energy from other people. It's like they feed off the weaknesses and the vulnerabilities of others. So if you recognize some of these dynamics in your parents, one of the challenges is we get so normalized to this behavior, to these patterns, that we can find ourselves on the receiving end of narcissistic abuse in our adult life, in intimate relationship, in friendships, in the workplace. And whereas someone who hasn't grown up in that environment would immediately have an internal jarring response, like this doesn't feel okay, if we've got so normalized to it, we may not then have that immediate response. So in terms of breaking free from these dynamics, the first thing is to recognize that these behaviors are not okay. Although you've got normalized to these patterns of behavior, they are toxic. They are narcissistic, they are abusive. That if you can see that, you can start to do something to change. Now, my next tip is to recognize, and this can be hard to hear sometimes, but the research tells us, particularly people with narcissistic personality disorder, the real extremes of narcissism, they don't typically change. One of the ways that narcissists can weaponize our empathy is with promises of changing in the future. But the fact is, to really predict someone's future behavior, the best predictor is their past behavior. And someone promising they're going to change, saying they're going to change, in a way is empty words until there is irrefutable evidence that that's actually what's happened and is happening, not just something which is being promised. If we can see what's happening and we can recognize the sometimes painful truth that this person is really not going to change, we need to change how we are in relationship with that person. That means having healthy, strong, clear boundaries. That can be a proximity boundary. That means we are not around that person, like we leave being in a relationship. It can be emotional, energetic boundaries. It can be boundaries in our words. But ultimately, we have a responsibility to protect and take care of ourselves. If we can start to get some distance from these toxic patterns in our life, that gives us the space to really do our inner healing work. There will be a whole bunch of impacts of growing up with narcissistic parents. We can heal from those impacts, but we have to do that healing work. I recognize that this may feel like a hard video to watch and hard truths to hear. But I can honestly say, over 2 decades of a clinical career, this is the truth of narcissistic abuse and narcissistic relationships. Let me know in the comments below this video, does this resonate with you? What's been your experience of healing? And if you'd like to see more of me working with someone who's the victim of a narcissistic abusive parent, do check out Haley's In Therapy series here on my YouTube channel. Hope that's been helpful. Thank you for watching.